Thanks. Well, that's hard to follow that one. So, Roy McClarty embodied the term journeyman, and that's not a word you hear very often. If you want to know about his stats, just Google them. Tonight, I'd like to tell you, the man, he had loads of stories, loads of stories. He was just unbelievable on the road, and I want to share a few of those with you tonight. Roy is best remembered for his frugality. Moondog Ed Moretti would remember this one here. Up in the interior of British Columbia, when we traveled up there was Roy, myself, Eric Froelich, Jake Roberts, Ed Moretti, Bobby Bass. We'd all travel with Roy in the truck. And we had to get up at 7 o'clock in the morning to go have this $1.49 breakfast. And Ed used to put it like he'd shake us and wake us all up, and Ed would put it like $1.49 breakfast, yes. And Roy would say, yes, it's 2 eggs, 2 pieces of bacon, and 2 pieces of toast, and a coffee to wash it down with. Well, how I say Roy is frugality, Ed Moretti would always want to order another one because it just wasn't enough to eat. And Roy would just cuss him out for spending his money all the time on that. So, Roy taught me how to save my money on the road, which was really good. And when I was 18 years old, underage, sitting in a bar with Roy and all these other wrestlers that are 240, 260 pounds, I was just loving it. And they'd pull their money out and I'd see them buy a round of beer, and I go, wow, geez, I think I can, buy one of those. And Roy would just cuss me out. And I remember one time Bobby Bass was sitting in there too with us, and Roy would say, don't you be buying these guys beer because they're going to take advantage of you. And I got to tell you, to this day now, I think, Bobby, it's been, 35, 40 years? I have not bought that man a beer yet, ever. We're on Vancouver Island, and when Roy's in a restaurant, oh my God, all hell can break loose on this guy. So we had his young son with us. Pat was, I believe, 14 at the time, and we went for fish and chips. And we get our fish and chips, and we're sitting at the table, and Roy looks over to Pat and just gives that look, looks at his fish and chips, looks over to me, and looks at my fish and chips and says, Kevin, have you got fish in yours? Yeah, I got fish in mine. And Pat, yeah, Dad, I got fish in mine. Roy literally had no fish in the batter. This guy would walk right into the back into the kitchen, and he took this plate into the chef, and he said, did you cook this? And he says, yes, sir, I did. He says, well, where's the fish? And the cook said, well, it was in there when I cooked it. And Roy says, well, what the hell did it do, swim away? And this is honestly true. This guy was just amazing in these, on the BC ferries. Roy loved his eggs sunny side up. Guy Mitchell, who traveled with us a lot, Mr. X, everyone would know him, Gentleman Jerry in the WWF. We're on the ferry, and Roy liked his eggs sunny side up. Well, he got this egg, and he picked it up off his plate, and he was shaking it. And he went to the little Chinaman in the back, and he just cussed this guy out. He's paying this price for this egg, and just amazing, this man, what he would do. His wife Jerry used to give me hell because she thought I was the one that egged him on to do it. But he always called it like it was when he saw it. Don Leo Jonathan wanted me to tell you a story. First of all, Don Leo would like to say hi to everyone here. He couldn't make it. He sends his love to everyone. They were over on Vancouver Island one trip over there, and they used to go down, I think it was Powell River or somewhere, he said, and they pick oysters off the ocean there, and Roy would have Big Red there, the truck that pulled the ring, and they'd be shucking these oysters. Well, apparently the one year where they stopped there to get these oysters, I guess the government or someone leased this land out to some people, and Roy didn't know about it, so he's got all these oysters. He's got them on the front of the truck, and he's shucking them. And this guy comes walking over to him, says, excuse me. And Roy, he gives that funny look like, yeah, like, who the hell are you? And he says, those are my oysters. And Roy goes, what do you mean they're your oysters? And he says, these are my oysters. I own these oysters. I lease this land for the oysters. You got to put those oysters back exactly where you got them. And Roy give him the look again, like, he says, I'll tell you what, I'll make you a deal. And the guy says to Roy, what's that? Roy says, all of those down there are your damn oysters.
Kevin, killer crops.
These ones mine.
Out in various neighborhoods in the New York area.
Wrong Kevin.
Guy Mitchell and I took Roy to the hospital in Penticton, British Columbia. We're in the swimming pool there and just swimming around. And Roy gets out of there and he's got water in his ear and he couldn't hear a thing. We get into the hospital and they were shooting something into his ear. I don't know. And all of a sudden, all this stuff comes out. And the nurse and the doctor, they say to him, he says, "Can you hear?" And Roy goes, "Oh yeah, that's a lot better. That's a lot better." Mitchell walks in front of him and goes, Roy starts banging his damn head again, thinking he's lost it again. So, but you know, everyone, the ones that knew him best remember him as a mentor. He always looked out for the boys. If he liked you, his advice is as true now as it was then. If a promoter pays you pennies, that's all you're worth to him. For me and others in this room that were blessed to travel and learn from Roy, I'm tremendously honored to introduce Roy McClarty into the Circle of Friendship and this year's Posthumous Award. Ladies and gentlemen, the youngest daughter of Roy McClarty, Kelly McClarty.
Thank you, Kevin. Hi, everybody. This is my first time here, and I've had so much fun in the last 2 days meeting new people, hearing all these stories about my dad. Great times. I'm not sure I can put into words what this moment would mean to my dad if he were here today, but on behalf of him and my family, I will try. For my father, wrestling over 20 years meant more than competition. It meant an enduring legacy of hard work, dedication, and so many great friendships. He loved his fans, and they loved him. I hear so many stories and amazing comments of how much he was loved and appreciated in this business. He loved to travel all over the world using that sleeper hold. The squared circle truly was his comfort zone. Through it all, he always found the positives in the sport and continued his passion for it even after retirement. My childhood was spent by his side watching the weekly wrestling shows and going to the live events. This is where he taught me the magic of the greatest industry in the world. I loved every minute of it, and it's a legacy that he would be proud to see still being passed along today, be it in his name or that of his peers. The lessons he taught me about life through the sport of professional wrestling are still being echoed here today at the Cauliflower Alley Club. I love what the CAC does here, combining the legends of today with the talent of tomorrow. It makes me incredibly happy seeing the paths they have paved being followed. I am thankful to see so many friends of my father's here tonight. I've gotten to know a few, Kevin of course, Bobby, Greg, Ed, Vance, just to name a few, who make my day by telling me stories about Dad from the past. He was an amazing human, father, wrestler, all of it, missed beyond words. I laughed with a friend the other day, actually, and I said, Dad is probably hanging out with Andre and Stu in that amazing roster up in heaven. So I have so much gratitude for you, from you, for allowing me to be here and be part of this today, and honoring my father. So to the Cauliflower Alley Club, a huge, sincere thank you very much.
let me say something real quick. There's 3 people in here that's bored. Only three. Don't get damn excited. There's 3 people in here bored. One's name's Lou, one name's John, and one name's Ray. Now you're probably trying to figure out who they are. Well, let me introduce you to them.